Here's a guide to designing album art that stands out by reflecting your music, keeping it simple, using contrasting colors, incorporating unique typography, and collaborating with designers. 1. Reflect your music. Align with genre and mood. Think about the genre and mood of your music, whether it's upbeat, dark, serene, or intense. If your music is ambient and calming, consider minimalist, soft visuals. If it's energetic and bold, go for dynamic and vibrant designs. Capture the theme or message. Identify key themes or messages in your album and reflect them visually. For example, if your album is about self-discovery, you might choose abstract designs or personal photos that convey introspection. Choose symbols that represent your music. Use icons, shapes, or imagery that symbolize key elements of your music. This can make the cover feel meaningful and help listeners connect with your album's concept. Consider consistency with previous artworks. If you have a recognizable style or theme from previous releases, think about incorporating similar elements to create a visual brand for your music. 2. Keep it simple and impactful. Prioritize a clear focal point. Choose one main image or element as the focal point, like a close-up of a face, a unique symbol, or a bold graphic. This keeps the cover visually clean and memorable. Limit details for digital platforms. Since album covers are often viewed as thumbnails, avoid overcrowding the design with complex details. Focus on strong, clear visuals that remain impactful at smaller sizes. Embrace minimalism. A minimalist approach with simple shapes, clean lines, or a single striking image can be powerful. Minimalist designs stand out, especially on cluttered streaming platforms. Experiment with negative space. Use negative space to give your main elements room to breathe. Negative space can make the artwork feel balanced and sophisticated, drawing attention to the focal point. 3. Use contrasting colors. Choose eye-catching combinations. Pick colors that create contrast and stand out when displayed on digital platforms. High contrast colors like bold reds and blues or black and neon can make your album cover more visible on crowded screens. Experiment with complementary or analogous colors. Complementary colors, like orange and blue, create a strong contrast, while analogous colors, like blues and greens, give a more harmonious look. Choose a scheme that reflects your music's vibe. Consider the emotional impact of colors. Colors evoke emotions, so think about how your choices reflect the mood of your album. Warm colors like red and orange can convey passion or energy, while cooler colors like blue and green are calming or introspective. Use gradients or textures for depth. Adding gradients or subtle textures can make flat colors more dynamic. Gradients are especially effective for electronic or experimental music, while textures can give a more organic feel for folk or acoustic genres. 4. Incorporate unique typography. Choose a font that matches your style. If your music is vintage-inspired, consider a retro font. For modern electronic music, sleek sans serif fonts may be more fitting. Typography style can add to the album's personality. Experiment with custom fonts or handwritten text. Custom fonts or handwritten elements add a personal touch and make the album cover more unique. Handwritten typography is especially effective for indie, folk, or personal projects. Ensure readability. Make sure the text is clear and legible, even at smaller sizes. Avoid overly intricate fonts that might be hard to read when the album cover is displayed as a thumbnail. Play with placement and size. Experiment with different text placements such as across the top, down the side, or diagonally. Unconventional placements or large typography can make the cover feel modern and dynamic. 5. Collaborate with designers or artists. Work with someone who understands your vision. Share your ideas, musical themes, and inspirations with a designer who can bring that vision to life. If possible, choose someone experienced in album art or with a portfolio that matches your aesthetic. Provide a mood board or reference images. To help the designer understand your style, create a mood board with color palettes, textures, and images that inspire you. This makes it easier for the designer to capture the mood and feel of your music. Allow creative freedom. Give the designer room to experiment and bring their unique perspective. professional designers can add elements you may not have considered, elevating the final concept. Consider working with illustrators for original art. If you want something truly one of a kind, collaborate with an illustrator for custom artwork. This works especially well for genres like indie, jazz, or alternative music, where unique visuals can set you apart. Additional tips for designing standout album art: test the artwork in thumbnail size. Since most listeners will see your album art in small sizes on streaming platforms, test the design as a thumbnail to make sure it remains impactful. Align with your brand or theme. If you have recurring elements in your visual brand, such as specific colors, symbols, or textures, incorporate them into your album art to create a cohesive brand. Gather feedback from others. Before finalizing the design, get feedback from a few trusted friends or fans. They can provide a fresh perspective and let you know if the design effectively conveys the message. Add subtle details for fans to discover. Include small details like hidden symbols or Easter eggs that fans can discover when looking closely at the cover. This adds depth to the artwork and makes it feel special. By designing album art that reflects your music, using simple and bold elements, incorporating unique colors and typography, and collaborating with a designer, you can create a standout album cover that resonates with fans and attracts new listeners. Thoughtful design can help convey the essence of your music and make a lasting impression on streaming platforms and beyond.